when it's snowing and it's cold. You're gonna have to find a crew, it can't be anyone. They'll have to be there by your side and do what must be done. So go, man, you know that you have it night through day. The pain you feel it to bring it on with the Archie County Band. Doubts come and some may never die. So I'll ask myself, should I stop before I try? No way, man, mistake, it has been said. I'm all in, so there's nothing I'll regret. But time is ticking and there's so much that's going through my mind. Will I make it? Yes, I will. Our spirits are twined. So let's get this show on the road. I'm here, I'll stay and I'll carry the load to bring it on with the Archie County Band. But hold on a second now, I'm starting to feel the strain. Was it a bicycle? What is wrong with my brain? Is it the end of me? No, I must still believe. So I'm still in love, you see. Heck yeah, now I'm on my way. But let's stay focused, there's still a job in hand that we must do. Cameras start to click, we know what creating something new. So go, Marty and Sarah and Mark and Matt, Owen, Smitty, McGrilly and Jamie Lane in the Archie County Band. The Archie County Band. The Archie County Band. The Archie County Band. Stop the clock, we're done, we're rolling. Sound the horn and sing that we are going. 27 hours, that is the time. So let's hop on the bus and let it shine, 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 shine. Good afternoon, folks. You are very welcome to Bandido Talks. It is the final show of the week, folks. We've made it to Wednesday. And it is the final show of the week. Unless I do a little surprise show tomorrow. But Monday to Wednesday, it's our final show of the week. And we are going to go out with a bang. This is going to be a fiery one, folks. Because we are going to be talking all about assisted dying. Oh, the world is a funny place, isn't it, folks? I mean, you would think, wouldn't you? As a living being, as a creature, humans are creatures. We are living beings. You would think by having that status, a living being, you would think that one of your great goals in this life would be to live, and to live as long as possible. But oh no, you see, it's 2026, of course. It's 2026. We were talking on our show yesterday. In 2026, you can identify not just as a man, not just as a woman. You can identify as a box of cereal. If you choose. If your pronoun is a Lucky Charm, everybody has to use your Lucky Charm pronoun. Because it's 2026, isn't it? And you see, not only can you identify as a box of cereal, as a Lucky Charm, in 2026, living beings, humans as living beings, we are now starting to introduce into law, may I add, it's becoming legally approved to kill yourself. Yes, I know, assisted dying. No, Mr. Bandido, it's called assisted dying. All right, let's strip away the nice cuddly terminology, shall we? Assisted dying. What a load of shit. Let's call it what it is. It's called killing yourself. And in 2026, that's correct, it's now becoming more and more accepted that you can kill yourself. You know, you're going to be able to go into the NHS. It's heading this direction, folks. It's heading this direction whereby you can go into the NHS, get a needle stuck up your hole, get some poison injected into you, and you get to kill yourself. And better still, it gets better, folks. There are a whole bunch of people across the UK and probably across the planet that are celebrating this new development. They are celebrating the fact that we all now legally get to kill ourselves. Isn't that just wonderful news, folks? Isn't it great? You know, that's the news that the Bandido just wants to hear. If he wants, he can legally kill himself. Wonderful stuff. Well, that just made me smile today, didn't it? You know, I've got that one in the back pocket there. You know, if life just gets too hard, well, I've got my ace in the hole. And you know, normally, folks, when you think about that phrase, an ace in the hole is this idea that you've got something up your sleeve to bail yourself out of trouble. So, I've got an ace in the hole. I'm in a pickle at the moment, but this ace in the hole is going to help me get out of the pickle. But you see, in 2026, what is the ace in the hole? Does the ace in the hole get you out of the problematic circumstances? No. The ace in the hole is, oh yes, I can kill myself. Well, isn't that just a great ace in the hole, isn't it? It's just there in the back pocket. When life gets too tough, I'll just kill myself. No, sorry, it's assisted dying. Sorry, am I saying kill myself?
Maybe I've got the terminology. Sorry, I've got the terminology mixed up. Assisted dying. Sorry, I'm allowed to partake in assisted dying. We are going to talk all about this today, folks. This is going to close our run of shows this week. And this is an important one. Because I read about this morning. And I've heard about this for the last few months. All of these different governments out in Canada. It's coming here to the UK. Of course, they are Western governments. Western civilizations. This idea, it's been on my radar for a while. This assisted dying, in other words, translated as killing yourself, legally. This idea of assisted dying, I'm starting to see now it's getting more traction in Wales. Over in Wales, apparently in their government, in their Senate, or whatever you call it, this place where laws are passed, apparently they are moving in the right direction, according to all of them. And what is the right direction that they are moving in, according to these government folk? Oh, well, the right direction is we're starting to get legislation passed that, yes, that's correct. You see, you listening to this, if you want to, you can legally kill yourself. It's great news, and you've got people outside celebrating. And then you saw the dipshit. Did you see the dipshit in the thumbnail? Holding up her sign. Assisted dying. My choice. You've got all these people. It's my choice. My body. If I want to kill myself, I should be allowed to do it. And of course, the laws are starting to get passed. It might be coming to the NHS near you, sooner or later. You'll be legally allowed to kill yourself. This is great news, folks. And we're going to talk all about it here on the show. Because, oh boy, are there some good lessons in this. Some really good lessons, as you could imagine. But before we get into that, folks, I will remind you, of course, to give our stream a thumbs up. Hit the like button. Of course, if you are joining us live, folks, get down into the live chat. Leave your comments, leave your insights. This could be a bit of a divisive show. Some people mightn't be happy with what the Bandido has to say with respect to this topic. It's, of course, Bandido's Beef. We're back with another Bandido's Beef segment. He does have a beef with assisted dying. In case you couldn't tell there, my beef with assisted dying. This could divide the very large viewership that we have here on Bandido Talks. It could divide them up the middle. So get down into the live chat if you are joining us live. Let me know what you think. If you're watching the live event after it has concluded, get down into the comments section. Let me know what you thought about everything that we will talk about here on the show. And then finally, folks, if you like what we do in general here at Bandido Talks, then I would encourage you to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Bandido Talks here on YouTube, folks, is live every Monday through to Wednesday at 5 p.m. Irish time here on YouTube. 3 live shows every week here on YouTube. If 3 live shows is not enough for you, remember, Bandido Talks is not just live on YouTube, it's also live over on Rumble. Monday to Wednesday at 6 p.m. Irish time. So the Bandido, when he finishes his show here on YouTube, he heads straight over to Rumble to do another live show on a completely different topic. So you actually have 3 live shows over on Rumble as well. But how do I get to Rumble? You see the scrolling black banner below? You will see right now across the screen all the details that you will need to direct yourself over to Rumble. Subscribe to Bandido Talks over on Rumble. You will have 3 more live shows over there, 6 live shows in total between YouTube and Rumble. What more could you ask for? 6 live shows on 6 completely different topics. Spoiled rotten. That's what you folk are. So anyway, subscribe here on YouTube, head over to Rumble after this live show, subscribe to Bandido Talks on Rumble. You'll be, of course, notified of all of our upcoming live events, all of our video uploads. Keep you in the loop, folks. We don't want to have you misinformed about the facts of reality. Isn't that right? But anyway, with all of that out of the road, folks, let us get into this afternoon's show. Assisted dying, also known as killing yourself legally. Well, isn't this an interesting one, folks? A really interesting one. As I said in our little introduction, we are all living beings. The goal of life is to live. I think we would all agree. We all want to live. We all want to enjoy our life. We all want to spend time with the people that we most care about, the people who care most about us. We want to have goals and ambitions. We want to be working towards those goals, engaging with the process, enjoying the journey, giving our absolute best in life, trying to be of value to other people, getting into mutually beneficial interactions and business arrangements perhaps with other people so that you're getting value, I'm getting value. The people on the other end of the interaction, they are getting value. We want to do all of these things in life. It's called living. And we want to make our existence as enjoyable as possible. But you see, it is, of course, as I've said, 2026. And I've said this many times before. It has never been a better time to be living as a human. 2026 is unquestionably the best time in human history to be living as a human. Now, I understand if you don't understand human history very well, because you're an idiot, then you won't realize just how difficult life was only 200 years ago. Forget about 20,000 years ago. Humans have been here on the planet for around 200, 300,000 years. Life, up until fairly recently, let's say the last 100 years or so, has been pretty difficult. The existence we have as a modern day human is marvelous. It's the best time to be living. I understand it's not perfect. There are things that happen in the world that aren't perfect. Things that we would prefer didn't happen. War, poverty, starvation, unnecessary death and disability, crime, governments exerting too much control over their citizens, taking their money through taxes. I understand that there are drawbacks to being a human in 2026. But if you truly understand human natural history, then you will realize, without doubt, this is the best time to be living as a human. It's not even close. Even though there are imperfections in our modern day civilizations, it's by far and away many orders of magnitude better than what it was even 200 years ago, let alone 20,000, 50,000 years ago. So it's very easy, folks. If you understand human natural history, you will have an enormous amount of appreciation for the life that you are able to live in 2026. It is the best time ever to be a human. You are able to do so many things with your life. So many things. There are so many opportunities. You don't have to worry about food. You don't have to worry, in most cases, about predation. You don't have to worry about silly little infections and diseases that only 200 or 300 years ago would have killed you or disabled you. You don't really have to worry about war. If you live in the West, you don't really have to worry about war. If you're listening to this, there's a good chance that you're probably in fairly stable circumstances in your country. There's so many things that you don't have to worry about now as a human, and these things you did have to worry about not that long ago. There are drawbacks, as I've already said, but you have so much time. You have so much time as a modern day human. You have time to actually do things like art, play music, learn a language, play sport, do recreational activities, read books, watch the television, go on social media. There are so many things that you can fill up your time with because you have so much time relative to ancestral humans. Humans in, let's just say, past human history. If you were a human, let's say 20,000 years ago, you didn't have time to play the guitar. You didn't have time to learn a language. You didn't have time to twiddle on your phone, even if you had one. If you were a human 20,000 years ago, all that you were concerned with was not getting eaten by some big carnivore, getting enough food and water so that you don't die of starvation or through a deficiency of water or through thirst deficiency, if we want to call it that, dehydration, and you wanted to make sure that you had shelter from the elements. That is what you spent your entire day doing. Trying to avoid predators, collecting food and water, and ensuring that your habitat, your shelter, was intact. That's what you spent all of your time doing. You didn't have time for recreation as we know it now in 2026. You had to get up every day 20,000 years ago, look for food, make sure that you don't get the arse chewed off you by some sort of a lion or hyena, and then, yes, make sure that your community is safe, that you're sheltered from the elements. You spent all of your waking hours doing that, pretty much. There wasn't much time for anything else. Fast forward to 2026, and you have a ton more time compared to a human who lived 20,000 years ago. Your circumstances in 2026 are extremely benign, very benign circumstances. 20,000 years ago, the circumstances were very harsh. There was very little margin for error if you were a human 20,000 years ago living out in the wild. You've got a shit ton of margin for error in 2026 relative to 20,000 years ago. And you've got more time to do basically useless activities. Fucking playing the guitar. Yes, it's a sexual display, but it's practically a useless activity, really, when you think of it. From an ancestral human's viewpoint. Imagine an ancestral human looking at you, playing the guitar in your house. You're just sitting in this building, playing your guitar. Your ancestors would look at you and say, how the fuck does that human 20,000 years into the future have so much time to just sit on his little stool in his little studio in his little house and play the guitar? Why is he not out foraging for food? Why is he not worrying about predators? Why is he not worrying about infectious diseases? Why is he not worrying about some tribe coming over the hill and breaking into his dwelling, stealing all of his children, stealing his women? Why is he not worrying about all of this? You are in marvelous circumstances in 2026, in case you didn't realize. And if you don't realize just how good your circumstances are in 2026, you need to do some reading up on human natural history. 20,000 years ago, 50,000 years ago, 100,000 years ago, the life of a human was extremely difficult. You barely had any time to do anything other than protect yourself from predators and forage for fucking food. You were at risk of infectious diseases. You were at risk of your tribe being invaded. You were at risk of starvation, dehydration. There are so many things that you have to think of as an ancestral human 50,000 years ago. You don't have time to sit in your house and play the guitar or read a book or twiddle your thumbs with your phone. Didn't have time. There was work to do. It's very different now. Yes, you still have to work. I understand you may have a job. But when you finish your job at 5 p.m., you get to come home to your comfy home with your television on, with your fucking slippers on your feet, and you sit and watch television all day, or you scroll on your phone on TikTok. Your ancestors didn't have that ability to do that. They worked 24/7, pretty much, until they were knocked out by a build-up of sleep deprivation. Eventually they had to sleep. And then they would wake up and do it all again. Now we have what we are going to call the specialization of labor. We're able to live in these big towns, cities, communities, whereby other humans do other things that make our lives better, which means we don't have to invest physical, muscular activity into doing things because someone else does it for us. I didn't have to build this microphone. I didn't have to build this house. I didn't have to put the fabric together for these clothes. Some other human did that, and then I get to benefit from their labor. And what does this buy me more of? It buys me more time. Because if I had to make my own clothes, make my own microphones, build my own house, build my own car, build everything that I have, I wouldn't have very much time to do recreational activities, would I? I wouldn't. I would have to go and forage for food. I would need to perhaps grow my own food, hunt for food. I wouldn't have a lot of time. What you do have now, relative to your ancestors, is time. Now, why am I saying this? I'm laying this out because we are talking about assisted dying, also known as killing yourself legally. I'm trying to make you realize just how wonderful it is to be a human in 2026. It is incredible to be a human in 2026. The opportunity that we have to live our best life, free from starvation, free from dehydration, free from infectious disease, free from predation, free from war in most cases, free from being exposed to the elements and freezing to death or suffering the consequences of extremely hot conditions where I have no shelter. We don't have to worry about any of this. We can go into our house, we can put on the air conditioning, we can put on the heating, we can go down to the supermarket, buy food. If we do get an infection, or if there's something wrong with us, we can go to a specialist at a hospital and get treated. It's marvelous to be a human in 2026. And so this idea that there are people out here celebrating the fact that they get to kill themselves has to be the height of retardation. Holy fuck. These people who are celebrating the fact that assisted dying is going to be passed in various countries through various policies and legislation. These people are fucking retards. Retards. And you know what they also are? They are cowards. You see these people who are big advocates of assisted dying. Retards and fucking cowards. Let me explain why. The retard explanation is simple. These people clearly don't know anything about human natural history. They are idiots. They don't realize how great an opportunity they have to live as a human in modern civilization in 2026. To not realize this, folks, makes you a retard. You need to go get educated to get out of your retarded state. So that's very easily explained. These people who advocate for assisted dying, they are retards because they don't understand human natural history. They don't understand what a phenomenal opportunity they have to maximize and optimize their life relative to their ancestors from whom they've descended. So they are retards. That's an easy one to explain. They are also cowards. Number 2, they are fucking cowards. Let me tell you why. Now, I know what you're going to say, some of you folk who disagree with this. You're going to say, well, no, assisted dying is important because me or my loved one might be in pain and we want to put them out of pain. You fucking coward. Let me tell you something. If you're one of those people who comes out with that drivel, they're in pain. If you have a fully functional brain, which most people do. Now, there are a small number of people in the population who have either had brain surgery or they are on psychiatric medications that has altered their brain chemistry. There's a small amount of people, although it's a growing section of the population, but relative to most people, that section of the population who has had traumatic brain surgery or brain injury through either blunt force trauma or psychiatric medication, which has altered their brain chemistry, those people aren't in a fit state to make any decisions about anything. So if you've had blunt trauma to your head and you've sustained brain damage, or you've had serious brain surgery, or you've taken psychiatric medications that have fucked up your brain because you think you're depressed, go check out my episode on depression if you want to hear more about that. But if you're in this small category of people who have had brain injury, essentially, whether it's through blunt force trauma, surgery, or psychiatric medication, those people aren't in a fit state to come to any conclusions about anything. So we're going to leave those people to one side. Leave them to one side. They are in a unique set of circumstances where literally their brain has been physically manipulated and altered. In other words, they aren't themselves anymore. They've damaged their brain. When someone damages their brain, that alters, to a degree, who it is that they are. They aren't the same person that they were before, to some degree. So we are going to leave those people to one side because they are in a unique set of circumstances where they have a brain injury and they aren't fully themselves. But that's a small number of people, folks. If you are someone who has their brain fully intact and you don't have brain injuries or brain damage, I'm going to speak directly to you because you represent most of the population. If you have a fully functioning brain and you think assisted dying is a good idea, not only are you a retard, but you're a coward. And let me tell you why you're a coward. You're going to launch this argument at me that, oh, I'm in pain. I want to get put out of pain. Do you realize what a magnificent achievement it is that you even were brought into this life? You were competing against fuck knows how many million of sperm. You once were a little sperm, a wee swimming sperm, and you were in competition with a whole bunch of other sperm trying to fertilize an egg. And you won. You outcompeted all of the other sperm. So the fact that you even exist is a fucking miracle. You've already defeated the odds. Because you, as a little single sperm, you were in competition arguably with millions of other sperm to try and fertilize an egg so that you could come into existence. You won that competitive battle, let's just say. That competition, you won the gold medal. You defeated all of your adversaries, all of the other sperm. So you came into this life against the odds. Because if you're competing against millions of other sperm, you can see what the odds are here that you are actually going to make it in life into the womb of your mother. The fact that you managed to fertilize the egg and you were the baby growing in a womb and that your mother gave birth to you, that is a miracle in itself. So you earned the gift of life. There were millions of other sperm that lost out on the opportunity of life. You do realize that, don't you? Millions of other sperm that you were competing against to fertilize that egg, to come into existence, they all lost the opportunity to gain the gift of life. You earned it. You got there. You fertilized the egg. You became the growing embryo. You became the child that was then birthed into this life. Against all odds, you made it. And you got the gift of life. Now, when you come into this life, what did I say at the beginning? We want to try and enjoy our existence as much as possible. That's what we want to do. We want to get the most out of life. We want to be in the most optimal set of circumstances possible, in an ideal world. We all know, though, folks, that life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're losing. Sometimes things are going well, sometimes things aren't going so well. That is the contract that you sign with life whenever you win the battle against all the other sperm. When you fertilize that egg and you come into this existence, into this life, you sign a contract that says there are no guarantees that everything is going to be all roses and rainbows. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. It is part of living. The downs are what give the ups all of their legitimacy. If life never had any downs, if there was never any moments in life of uncertainty, if there were never any moments in life where things don't go your way, then life would be boring. If everything just went well for you all the time, you would be bored. And so this is why the up-down nature of life is so beautiful. Because when you're down, that makes the ups all the more significant and marvelous. Because you know that they are never going to last eternally. When you're on cloud 9 and you are flying high in life, the reason why that feels so good is because you know that it's not going to live forever. It's not going to exist forever. You're not going to persist in this state of euphoria forever. At some stage, you're going to come back down again. And it's this idea that knowing there are ups and downs in life, knowing that everything isn't going to be perfect, that is what makes the good moments so good. Because you know that the only constant in life is what? The only constant in life is change. You know that when you're on cloud 9 and things are going well, one thing that you can be certain of is things are going to change. You're not going to just stay in this state for all of eternity. You might go up a bit more, but then you're going to come back down again. And life's going to hit you hard at different times. Your parents are going to die before you. Fact of reality. They're going to die. If the natural order is upheld, you are going to watch your parents die. So shit is going to be coming your direction, whether you like it or not. People you love and care about are going to die. People are going to move away to other countries. Businesses are going to go under. You're going to lose some friends. You're going to get into a romantic relationship. Your gal's going to dump you. Shit happens. You're going to get fired from your work. This is life, folks. Life is full of ups and downs. It's part of the contract of living. And it's the most beautiful thing about living. You wouldn't want it any other way. Because if life was just always this euphoric state of winning, if it was always just good, 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 then you become numb to the good because it becomes the baseline. And if it becomes the baseline and there's never any turbulence, then what happens? Life gets boring. And boredom is not a good thing, folks. Boredom is not a good thing at all. Boredom leads to a wasted life. And you see, life is so much more forgiving than that, because life gives us ups and downs. You wouldn't want to sacrifice the downs. That's the point. The moments when you are down, give even more significance to the moments when you are up. That is what makes the moments when you are winning in life all the more sweet. Because you know they are transient. When you're feeling high on cloud 9 and you're winning at life, you know that it's transient. Shit is going to come your direction sooner or later. That's what makes life so much worth living. Because when you're down, that gives the feeling of legitimacy to the moments when you're feeling up. That's life's contract. And so the reason why you, idiot, retard, who believes in assisted dying, the reason why you are a coward is because you are looking an excuse. You're looking an excuse not to dig the heels in when life isn't going your way. You're looking for a get out of jail card. And how retarded and cowardly do you need to be for your get out of jail card to be, I'm going to kill myself? Is there any more act? Is there a greater act of cowardice than that? Let's take your argument. Oh, I'm in pain. I'm in pain, or my loved one's in pain. And so we should just kill ourselves. Coward. When you're in pain, if you have an illness, if you have a terminal illness, you know, the oncologists, you know, the cancer specialists, they take satisfaction. They rub their hands together when they have a, quote, terminally ill cancer patient. They just love it. They just love to tell people, oh yeah, you're going to die. Oh yeah, you're gonna die. You're terminally ill. Your cancer can't be cured. These pieces of shit oncologists, they love this. They love telling people, oh, you're dying. You're terminally ill. You have to go to hospice, palliative care. Let me tell you this. When you're ill and you're in pain, that's a moment in life where you're down. What did we just say? Life is full of ups and downs. It's part of the contract you sign when you come into life. So when you're ill and you're in pain, that's a moment that we could say, quote, you are down. It's one of the down moments in your life. Fine. Realize this. If you are in pain, do you know what you should be doing? If you've any fucking courage in your system at all. You see someone who's courageous and they are in pain. You know what they do? They fight. They fight for their existence. They look for solutions. They are proactive. They want to solve the problem. They don't go into their back pocket and pull out the assisted dying card. Oh yeah, oh life's just getting tough. Oh, life's getting tough. I'm in pain. I've got a terminal illness. Oh, it's just so difficult. You know what? I'm not gonna fight for my right to life. No, I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna have the courage to look for a solution. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull my kill myself card out of the pocket like a fucking coward. That's what a coward does. A coward doesn't want to fight. A coward doesn't want to put the effort in. The coward doesn't want to put in the diligent time and energy necessary to find a solution to their problem. The coward just wants the easy way out. That's what cowards do. Have you ever watched Pirates of the Caribbean? Think about that. Pirates of the Caribbean. Many of us are familiar with these movies. The second movie, Dead Man's Chest. For those of you that have seen the movie, I'm not going to spoil it for you. I'm not going to tell you the entire plot. But at the end of the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Dead Man's Chest, one of the main characters, Captain Jack Sparrow, at the very end of the movie, I'm not going to tell you the whole plot, but there is a spoiler coming up here at the end of the movie. So if you don't want to hear the spoiler and you want to go watch the movie first before you watch the rest of this show, you're getting your warning. I'm going to count to 3 if you want to put me on mute or turn me off. 1, 2, 3. That's your warning. Spoiler coming up. At the end of this second Pirates of the Caribbean movie, Dead Man's Chest, Captain Jack Sparrow, there's this big oceanic creature called the Kraken. It's like a big giant squid. And it's been sort of terrorizing Captain Jack and his crew for the entire movie. And at the end of the movie, what happens is the Kraken, this big squid-like creature, gets a hold of Captain Jack's ship. And Captain Jack, he is chained to the ship. So he's actually chained to the ship. He can't run away. He can't escape the Kraken. The Kraken's coming with its big mouth opened, with all of its sharp, pointy teeth. And Captain Jack, he is essentially tied to the ship. He's like handcuffed to the ship. And he tries to get out of the handcuffs. He does all he can to try and escape. But there comes a point where Captain Jack realizes, I can't escape. I can't escape. I'm literally handcuffed to the ship, to this pole. And so as the Kraken encroaches upon him, what does Captain Jack do? Does Captain Jack take out a vial of poison and drink it and kill himself? Is that what Captain Jack does? Does he go get himself a needle and inject some poison into himself and just kill himself as he sees the Kraken with its mouth opened coming towards him? Is that what Captain Jack does? No fucking way. What Captain Jack does is, once he realizes that he's in an enormous pickle, because that's what he's in, once he realizes that he can't escape from the Kraken, does he pull his kill myself card out of his pocket? Absolutely no way. Captain Jack turns around to the Kraken, which now has its mouth opened, ready to eat him. And what does Captain Jack do? He draws his sword and he says, "Hello, beastie." And he charges at the Kraken. That's what he does. Now, is it a losing battle? Perhaps it is. But Captain Jack, in that instance, he fought until he could no longer fight. He knew that he was in an enormous pickle. He knew that the Kraken had him cornered. But you know what Captain Jack did? He looked at his circumstances and he said, okay, this doesn't look good. But am I going to give up? Am I going to be a coward? Or am I going to, even though my chances are slim of survival, even if my chances are slim, they still exist. The odds are against me, but if I manage to wield my sword in a certain way, maybe the Kraken will have a heart attack. Maybe someone behind the Kraken that I can't see will fire a cannonball at it. Who knows? My chances are slim, but I'm going to have the courage to look for a solution. I'm going to have the courage to fight for my life. I'm not just going to surrender my existence to the Kraken without a fight. And this is the lesson, folks. In this life, we want to be like Captain Jack Sparrow at the end of Dead Man's Chest. Life is full of ups and downs. Get used to it. People around you are going to die. Your business prospects are sometimes going to be good, sometimes they are going to be not so good. You will get into relationships with people and you will lose people. You will fail and you will make mistakes throughout this life. Don't be a fucking coward. And I understand that if you are in pain and you have a terminal illness, I understand that that's a very difficult set of circumstances. I understand that. And the pain may be very difficult to deal with on a daily basis. That I also understand. And I know that your odds of living might be slim. But the human body is a marvelous thing. Never underestimate your body's ability to heal and recover, even in the most dire of circumstances. We all know this, folks. Let's talk about cancer. Many people have been given a terminal cancer diagnosis. It has spread all over their body. They've been told they have a month to live. And we've all heard the stories, folks. Spontaneous remission. Go look up that term if you don't know what it is. A spontaneous remission is whereby the body, somehow the body, in the face of very slim odds of survival, somehow the body finds a way to defeat the cancer. And these people go on to live long, healthy, productive lives, even though the odds looked like they were completely against them. If these people had have taken their death jab, their assisted dying package, they would have killed themselves because the doctors would have told them they're terminally ill and they're never going to live. Palliative care. These people would have killed themselves and they would have deprived themselves of a very long, enjoyable life with their friends, with their family, with their children, with their grandchildren. Never underestimate the capabilities of your body to heal and recover. And don't underestimate either, folks, humanity's ability to innovate. What do I mean by that? For all you know, you might be, quote, terminally ill and in pain at the moment. For all you know, if you could just hang in for another few months and resist the assisted dying package, if you could just hang in, who knows? There might be some innovative treatment that's brought to the market that could save your life and get you out of pain. If you just hang in there and fight for your life. So always remember those two things, folks. Never underestimate your body's ability to heal itself and recover, and never underestimate humanity's ability to innovate and come up with novel solutions to difficult problems. If you have an illness that puts you in pain, number one, your body might find a solution to this problem, and number two, humanity may innovate and create a treatment or a solution for your problem. But you see, if you are a fucking coward, if you are a coward and a retard, but specifically a coward, if you're a coward who doesn't want to accept that life is full of ups and downs, if you are ill at the moment and you are in pain, you're in a moment where you are in a, quote, down period in your life. You're in a turbulent period of your life. If you go for your little get out of jail card, your little assisted dying card, so that you can kill yourself. For all you know, your body might have been 1 month away from starting the recovery. For all you know, humanity might have been 4 months away from finding a solution to your problem. But you see, these folks who are all advocating for assisted dying, i.e. killing yourself, you see these people? Not only are they retards, not only are they cowards, but they are a third thing. They are lazy. Lazy. You see, isn't it easy just to pull your assisted dying card out of the pocket? Because you see, when you just kill yourself, you don't have to put in any more effort. When you just kill yourself, you just turn the light off. You see, it's more difficult to fight. It's more difficult to be actively looking for solutions. That takes effort. That takes diligent time and energy invested in a process. And you see, a lot of people are lazy. They are lazy to the point where they will literally kill themselves. They would rather kill themselves than actually put in the work to try and find a solution to their problem. Retards, cowards, and lazy. That is what all of these people are who support assisted dying. They are retards because they don't understand how great it is to be a human in 2026 and the opportunities that they have at their disposal. They are a coward, number two, because they don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to accept the fact that life is full of ups and downs. It's full of good moments and challenging moments. And you see, whenever the challenging moments hit, you see, people don't want to put in the effort. Oh, it's all great. When they're riding on cloud nine, oh yeah, life's great. And then you see when a bit of turbulence hits, people get lazy. They want to cut corners. They don't want to put in the effort. They don't want to put in the time that's required to find a solution to their pain or their illness. And then number three, they're fucking lazy. Lazy. They are lazy and they have no courage. They aren't like Captain Jack. These people, whenever the Kraken comes knocking on their door and the Kraken has its mouth opened and it's burying its big sharp teeth, you see, whenever the Kraken comes knocking on the door of these retards who are advocating for assisted dying, when the Kraken comes knocking on their door, they roll over and let the Kraken eat them. That's what they do. They roll over. They take out their little fucking cyanide pill. They take out their syringe and inject themselves with some poison, and they just die. They aren't like Captain Jack. Captain Jack, in the face of very slim odds for survival, he took his sword out and he said, you know what? If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down fucking fighting. Because if I at least fight, whatever slim odds I do have, whatever the slim odds are, I'm at least going to give myself the best possibility or probability of coming out of this. Even if the odds are slim. If I roll over and give up, well then no one's going to help me. There are no odds in my favour. Whatever slim odds Captain Jack had, he managed to get the most out of them. That's why he took the sword out. And he at least tried to fight for his life. Fight for his existence. If you are one of these people who thinks assisted dying is a great idea, you are a retard, a coward, and you are lazy. Take that whatever way you wish. So anyway, do you feel like killing yourself now? Do you feel like assisted dying is a great idea? When you think of the battle that you had to fight just to get into this life, when you think of how great it is to be a modern day human, when you think of how marvelous your body is and its ability to heal and recover, when you think of how innovative humanity is, they might have the solution to your problem just around the corner. When you think of all that, do you still want to kill yourself? Because see, if you want to kill yourself, you go right ahead. I don't want to deal with people like you. The universe is very giving. If you're one of these people who thinks assisted dying is a great idea, then you know what? You go kill yourself. That's fine, because I don't want to deal with people like you. I don't want to talk with people who have your mental model, who have your perspective on life. So you know what? The universe is very forgiving. It's very, you kind of get what you deserve. If you want to die, then that's fine. You'd be provided with your syringe of poison. And you'd be allowed to die. And that's great, because that means I don't have to interact with you. Because I don't want to interact with people like you. If you've listened to this episode and you think, oh yeah, it's a great idea still to go and kill myself, legally, because assisted dying is going to come into the UK soon. If you still think that, great. You go right ahead. You're a free sovereign individual. If you're legally allowed to kill yourself, you go right ahead. I don't want to deal with you anyway. I don't want to talk with people like you. So you go kill yourself. I don't care. It's one less idiot that I have to deal with. So anyway, I don't think there's anybody in the live chat. Let me have a quick look. Let me see. Is there anybody in the live chat? It doesn't look like it. Nope, there is nobody in the live chat. And so that draws our show to a close. That draws our week's worth of shows to a close. Assisted dying, folks. If you liked what you heard, then feel free to give the stream a thumbs up. If you thought it was a crock of shit, give me a thumbs down then. Let me know your feedback. And then, of course, get down into the comments if you are watching this live event after it has concluded. Let me know what you think down there. Be unfiltered, folks. And then finally, if you like in general what we do here at Bandido Talks, then feel free to subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. We are live Monday to Wednesday, 5 p.m. Irish time, here on YouTube. I'm going to head over to Rumble right now. We've got a live show over on Rumble in just a few minutes. We are live over on Rumble Monday to Wednesday, 6 p.m. Irish time. If I don't see you over on Rumble, enjoy the rest of your week, folks. I will be back here on YouTube next Monday at 5 p.m. Irish time. If I don't see you over on Rumble, enjoy the rest of your week. And with all of that said, folks, it is over and out. This week on YouTube from the Bandido.